welcome to the launch of the Power of Learning from Dads. We're going to start with Chris, who will introduce both programs and also introduce Salva.
Salva arrived in the UK in 1990 with just a suitcase and £100. And at this point, without any further ado, I'd like to hand over to Salva, who's going to talk about tonight's materials.
But I just want to say the concept of why such materials is vitally important. I think, as Chris said, we are creating a new university, and post-pandemic, we focused a lot on something called a DAD, and we just here to look after our students and do the best we can, and every action we team. That's what. So this is another dedication to our students. Therefore, they can learn this material. So, without further ado, I think let's see what this platform is all about. I mean, that's what we are here for.
And I wanted to take you through it from inception, really from the search right the way through to the journey to kind of getting onto the platform and looking at the lessons. So as you can see, you're on our landing page now. There's a little introduction to the overall programs, and you can see the lessons will appear on the side. So you can see it's a very broad range of concepts, each of which are integral to the student journey, to this inside-out model of education that we're building here at Regent. So as you go into one of the programs, as you can clearly see, each program is split into two parts. You've got part A and part B. Learning at your own pace. You can repeat as many times as you want in order to really grasp and fully understand the concepts. And I think that is really one of the key features of our digital journey and our asynchronous model. And at the end, I think it's important to know you have the download lesson button. Now, when you download the lesson, what you're downloading is actually a chapter of the book. We've got 10 members of the team. Each of them are going to give a short presentation about one chapter or one area on the program.
My name is Gerda, and I'm a student at Regent College. Today I'm covering the first lesson, desire. Desire is something that we have absolutely burning inside us to do or to gain in our lives. Desire is the product of our mind, but our mind and body don't know the difference between having an actual experience and just thinking about the experience. Therefore, neurochemically speaking, it is the same thing. That is why it's so important to know exactly what we want.
Everybody, one of the important chapter of this book is the attitudes. Attitudes is a complex mental state involving beliefs and feelings and values and dispositions to act in certain ways. Attitudes changes everything. With the positive attitudes, you see the bright side of life, become optimistic and expect certainly a state of mind that is well or developing. Whereas negative attitudes is like a flat tire. You cannot go anywhere until you change it.
Decision is the art and the science of yes and no. It's about yes to dopamine, the hormone of happiness. That means yes to happiness. And it is about no to cortisol, the hormone of stress and sadness. It's about yes to study and development, no to Xbox and procrastination. So happiness, it's a decision.
That gives you a flavor of what our colleagues have got from desire, attitude, and decision. We're going to go now live to Scott, then Amit, Kashif, then Kylie, who will cover gratitude, character, opportunity, and imagination.
What I really liked about Salva's lesson is that he extends this concept of gratitude into a permanent, positive mindset.
Referring to our mind as a farm, everyone gets a farm. But it is up to us to cultivate it. We must look after our minds by keeping out negative thoughts. We can choose which thoughts to keep in our mind, as we are the farmer of our land.
Opportunity is a set of circumstances that create a need in a business to introduce new product or services, etc. My learning from that lesson is opportunities are available to everybody, and these are to be taken, and it will never be given to people. But if we die poor, it is our mistake. And nature provides us opportunities.
As the lesson outlines, Hill describes imagination as the workshop where everything is created and designed. And the lesson talks in depth about two types of imagination: the synthetic imagination, those ideas that are already kind of there, but by working on it in your imagination, you can take it to another level. And then there's the creative imagination, those new ideas that by working in your imagination on them can really spawn those kind of crazy kind of outcomes that you can only but imagine. That imaginative idea come to reality, and we've been happy in this house now for over 2 years. But yeah, so that's my piece on imagination.
Ask you about how these programs relate to inside out education and how that is a feature of the vision for Regent College University.
These ideas will give you an opportunity to shape those intellectual faculties. Say the difference between an animal and a human is an animal have instinct, we have got an intellect. So that intellect needs to be developed like everything else in life, like the muscles is developed. So when we were born, muscles were not doing as we are. Exercise, what we do, we develop our muscles. And if you don't do the exercise, the muscles won't develop.
This is something that's very close to Selva's heart, is bridging the gap between knowing and doing. And I think that links very closely to this notion of outside in or inside out education. But also it's about applying that knowledge and putting that knowledge into action, because it's about being able to visualize and imagine and put yourself in that position where perhaps you're not 100% secure. You're not going to wait to be sort of filled up with the knowledge from what somebody else can give you, from that external in, but you're going to take what you already know and develop it and act on it and apply what you know, so that you develop that learning from inside.
Where do you see this going next in terms of learning from dad to, or whatever, in terms of the next stage of development to this particular line of work?
I think George is very much taking these 3 programs and working with our team. As you can see, it's so nice to hear from the team, and in fact the student Greta just started off, and that shows that we are embedding this in the culture of the organization and our students. I think we're going to take a bit of time to get students to familiarize themselves on an intellectual level, and then also the emotional level. They can watch the change in paradigm. It'd be quite nice to say, we just followed these procedures, and there you go, the building is there, and digitally we are there as well, not just in Google. So that's what we feel the next level is.
Students can build themselves to become the best contributors they can be in their society. So it's a fantastic fit-in mechanism, if you will, with this project. And I feel very honored to have written the project on Scope to become as part of this initiative. Scope is related to tutorial session built on success, built on character, opportunity, and student progress enhancement as a whole. So Scope is really success, character, opportunity, and progress enhancement sessions.
We can understand everything intellectually, and we can answer every question in the book, but that doesn't mean we have emotionally taken that into account, because once you have that emotional intelligence only, his body moves. Please, and we are learning ourselves. There's no way we are anywhere near this. Emotionally, intellectually, I may have understood some of these concepts. I have a long way to go. But I'm looking forward to it. And thanks, guys. Have a fantastic evening.
Thank you so much for attending, and we will be in touch.